Hey, Marianne, there's Reuben.
Oh, hey, I have an idea, Lee. Let's go across the street and ask him if we can see the building.
That sounds like a great idea.
Hola, Reuben. ¿Puede enseñarnos el edificio?
Sí.
All right. He said
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
Okay, let's go.
How exciting.
Buckle up. It's time for Kewanee Memory Lane, where we cruise down the 4 lanes of Kewanee history with a detour of fun uncovering the past, coming to you straight from the Kewanee Historical Society in the heart of downtown Kewanee. Here are your hosts, Marianne and Leanne.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kewanee Memory Lane.
I'm Marianne.
And I'm Leanne. We're welcoming you back.
And just wanted to let you guys know we appreciate the views of our
Previous podcast.
Thank you. I couldn't find the right word. And all the comments and just, some. It's just really neat to see that you guys are listening and give us some ideas and just kind of what you're thinking.
We've had really positive feedback so far, and if you don't like us, just change the channel. We don't need to hear about it.
But please, tune in.
Keep scrolling if you don't like us. That's okay. It won't hurt our feelings.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Not much, but I have noticed one thing.
What's that?
We have eaten a lot of tacos.
I know, because we do a lot of research for
And
these episodes, and that
requires tacos.
sometimes it's a working lunch, sometimes it's a lunch after, and so
yes.
And
sometimes it's pre-game.
And we do have a rating of restaurants.
Yes.
But we won't do that right now. But just tacos, yeah.
Yes, all
authentic
tacos.
Mexican tacos, thank you.
All tacos, all the time.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic to us, which is our neighbor across the street to the north, the Oddfellows building, and everything to do with that. It has been in disrepair for quite a number of years, and it has been purchased now, and he's really fixing it up. And I'm so excited to see that it's
Our friend Ruben Gutierrez.
yes.
He actually, well, I'll get into that later.
Yeah, we did a little road trip,
Yeah.
one door north. So, but today because we're talking about Oddfellows building, we're going to talk about what was inside the Oddfellows building. And so we found some little artifacts from our
For our show and tell.
from our shelving downstairs. So this is a Kewanee National Bank. And what I think is cool is that you put your coins in here, and it says coins, and then over here it says paper, but you gotta roll it up into I don't know.
I wonder if you roll them up,
tubular.
if they just lay there like little cigarettes laying in there or something,
I don't know. It depends on how tight you roll them. Probably.
know.
I hear that about a lot of things. Anyway.
Yeah, but we can't open it.
Yeah.
We don't know if anything's
There's a
in
key
there.
in it, but
John told us he's going to try to get this open later.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Also, Kewanee State Savings Bank and Trust. They have a
Fan. This is Esther
Malamphy.
Thank you.
Just a cover to her passbook.
Oh, a cover for her
state.
passbook. Oh, that's really nice paper.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
being
what
in the printing business. That's
Yeah.
pretty nice cardstock.
Well, I don't know. It's got some sort of wacky coating on it. It's pretty cool. And I don't know what year it is, but it was old. Keep this book clean.
Wow.
And then we have George Lundine's savings account book. And let's see.
And I think this one was 1920. He started at 1920.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
He had $30, and that was the ending balance.
So we don't know. There was only a few transactions. Not sure what happened.
Yeah,
but
yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then one last thing is a trust certificate that certifies Tilly Stokes is the owner of 3 shares of the capital stock of Kewanee State Savings Bank and Trust Company.
I did not know they did it.
ah.
Wow. I know Kewanee back in the day, you could buy stock in the city of Kewanee.
Sure.
And that looks very similar to that certificate.
And this is dated March 31st, 1913.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I wonder what that's worth.
So
Probably
if
nothing.
Tilly, if her Stokes family's around, you come see it at the museum. We're at 125 North Chestnut Street. Tremont. We used to be at Chestnut. Sorry. 125 North Tremont Street.
Yes.
We're open May through October, Thursdays and Saturdays from 1 to 4 or by appointment.
Yes. Yeah. Or during the winter, you can probably catch us here on a Saturday if you come bang on the door.
And I guarantee you, if you come with a plate of tacos, we're going to open the door.
You know, I accept cookies too, you know. Well, you're gluten-free.
I'm gluten-free.
So maybe a banana and some cookies.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So let's get started.
Yeah. So what we did, first of all, is we were trying to decide when the dang building was built. We have records and pictures. We didn't know what was what or when was when.
And how even to present it to you guys.
Yeah,
so
it was
sense.
Yes. So this is one of the first pictures that I could find. And we'll put this up on the screen, but this is really, really old Kewanee in the 1800s. And this white wooden building is where the Oddfellows building would be built
201
later.
North Tremont.
201 North Tremont, right. And right across the street where this little house is, that's where we are standing right now. And there was always I don't know if those were
There's
a
a
barber
little house
pole. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what that was. But
Well, I guess we
that
better
barber
dig.
pole is in so many pictures that we have in our collection here and online.
So that's one of the reasons we know where things
It
are
helps
is by
situate
that.
it,
By that.
orient it.
Right, right. So we did take a road trip to Cambridge,
on
Illinois,
Friday.
and went to the records office in the courthouse, and it was interesting.
It was interesting. Yeah.
So we did that, and
Lots of books, lots of paper.
yeah,
We kind of
it was hard to decipher. So
we did ask for some assistance.
Yeah,
finally.
and we did the best we could. So the first one we found was in 1855 is the one we saw the earliest. And
This is crazy.
we'll put up a picture of how that block is called Block 17 of Circuit Clerk's Edition. And all of the lots were divided north-south. So, but then the buildings were built east-west. So that was really kind of hard. So it would say like a third of lot 9, south third of lot 9, and south third of lot 10.
She drew a neat diagram you'll see later. And
Yeah.
So we're trying to plot it out. And just,
Yes, of
you know.
where everything.
And I really thought we were going to find the Holy Grail, that it's all going to be spelled out.
Yes,
But really
I was-
this neat map for us. Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. But you know.
Yeah, no.
But it's okay.
So
we can do this.
Right, and we did find out I found out while reading one of Larry Locke's articles, was that this was part of, I believe, the Potter farm.
Yeah, you did tell me that. Yeah.
And so I don't know if everybody knows over where the hedge tree is on First and Main.
Across from Kewanee
Central
Theater.
and Main.
Central Boulevard.
Central and Main. That's one of the hedge trees from the Potter farm. And when the Potters decided to buy farmland on the south side in Wethersfield, when the city was being surveyed here, a lot of the movers and shakers of Wethersfield bought up his land. So there was Sullivan Howard, Henry Little,
Frank
Whiffen, Blish did some of it. So and then it just all sort of changed hands like every year, it seemed. So the earliest we saw for lot 10, which is the corner lot on the southeast side, so the southeast corner of Tremont and Second, was owned by Sullivan Howard, and it was sold to W.H.
You mean
Leal.
southwest?
What?
You said southeast corner. Oh no, it would
is
be.
the south.
Yeah, never mind.
Don't listen to her.
Sorry.
I have bad
I'm
enough
thinking
problems.
about it. I know. Okay.
Southeast corner was lot 10,
Okay.
or
You're
the
right.
most
You're right.
east lot was lot 10.
You're right.
So it was sold from Sullivan Howard to W.H. Leal in 1855. From then, the next year it was sold from Leal to a Brunson, And then Brunson sold to John Zhang, which he owned a lot of land here. In 1881, John Zhang sold to Wethersfield Lodge 128, which is the Independent Order of Oddfellows. And so, yeah. And then also around that time, 1879, Myron Hinsdale sold to Wethersfield Lodge 128. Both of those were parts of Lot 10. So, I don't know which parts exactly. And then the other one, Lot 9, was sold from Sally McConnell in 1888 to Alonzo Wood. And in 1893, Alonzo Wood to IOOF. So, that was already built, I believe, it was already established as the IOOF.
I just wanted to show this. You might not be able to see it. We'll insert it, but it says IOOF 128. And when Leanne and I walked in a couple weeks ago and toured the building, we didn't know for sure, like the 128 now. After finding this, it just kind of all puts it together. So it's just really cool.
In the records book, it didn't say anything about Oddfellows. It just said Wethersfield Lodge 128.
So we were like, there it is. It was really helpful.
Yeah. So I did find out a little bit about the Wethersfield Lodge of the Oddfellows in Kewanee. The Oddfellows is like a fraternal organization, sort of like the Elks and even Kiwanis and that sort of thing. They have regular meetings and stuff. And the Wethersfield Lodge 128 was established in 1853. That's a long time ago.
I think Kewanee was founded in 1854.
Right.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
And Wethersfield had been there since 1837. So,
That's right.
But then it basically died out due to the War of Rebellion.
Oh.
The Civil War. And then when people came back from the war, it was sort of reorganized as in 1864, and more people started joining it again. So, yeah. The original lots of 9 and 10 of that edition were subdivided in 93, we found, in an old plat book by 1893, and became lots 21 and 22. So, and those lots run east-west.
I just have to say, Leanne and I were kind of left to our own devices in this back room in the courthouse. You got an hour, and then you got 20 minutes, and we're like, we haven't even found everything yet.
Yeah.
And we're still looking, and then...
We may have to go back over and...
I kept noticing this number, and I'm like... So I finally went and asked, and she took us to an upstairs room, and then we found more information, which was really helpful. So, and then time was up, so...
Yeah, then we had to leave. So we'll probably have to go back just to get all that information. But the Oddfellows... I had never heard of the Oddfellows until I came to Kewanee.
I'd heard of it because of the building, but I just didn't know what they did.
Yeah. So I of course I don't belong to Oddfellows, and I don't care what they do. Well, I care what they do, but it's not important to me or to this.
Is their sister organization the Rebecca Lodge?
Yeah, the women joined the Rebecca Lodge, and the men joined Oddfellows, sort of like the Masons and the Eastern Star.
I wonder why they're called the Oddfellows. That's kind of odd. Get it?
Is that a mom joke?
Yeah.
So I found on the Oddfellows national website about their name, because I always wondered, why are they called Oddfellows? And so it says there's no real reason that they know of that it was called that. It was started in England in the 1700s, okay? And an old authoritative history of odd fellowship gives the explanation that common laboring men should associate themselves together and form a fraternity for social unity and fellowship, and for mutual help, was a marked violation of the trends of the times, and that they became known as peculiar, there's that word again I can't say, or odd, and hence they were derided as odd fellows. And then another explanation is that there was not enough numbers to form a security as a trade guild or a union. So these odd job people banded together.
That makes more sense to me.
And they became the Oddfellows.
Yeah.
And they together developed their own unique rituals, philosophies, and purpose. And the end part says, modern references state that the true reason for the name Oddfellows isn't known or documented. Whatever the reason may have been, the unusual name has been the object of public curiosity and on occasion derision and mirth for well over 200 years.
Wow.
So,
but I do remember when we were in the building, there's still a picture of an Oddfellows orphanage.
yes.
And you took a picture of it.
Yeah,
I did not.
yeah.
And I don't even remember where that was located. You know, the building itself, the orphanage.
Yeah, I think it was in Lincoln, Illinois.
Okay.
Is where it was.
So maybe that was one of their causes.
Yeah, that may have been one of for orphan children. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I did find, I don't have it here, I did find a picture of an orphan's home. It's sketched out in like a newspaper or something like that had to do with Oddfellows too. So, well, last week, we've been busting our butts to get this together. Mm-hmm. But last week, we met Ruben across the street, and he's kindly
become a friend of ours.
Yes, very.
Actually, I want to stop you because I met him May of 2023 when the museum opened for the season.
I didn't know that.
He came in after he purchased the building. He and his son and grandson came in and wanted to know the history of the building. He bought that and another piece of land in Kewanee, and he was really interested in finding any pictures or information that we might have. And we were able to show him some, and the more we dug, the more interested I became. And then when we started doing the podcast, it just seemed natural to tour it. So I think, just already having that connection to him and then saying, hey, could we come in and see your building? He was pretty accommodating. He did spend an hour with us.
Yeah, the other day.
And one of our other board members for like an hour just touring, and just seemed very proud of the things that they've already accomplished inside.
Right. I do want to say that the Oddfellows Hall as it is L-shaped, which is kind of odd. The front half was built in the 1870s, and here is a photograph of it without, we got to notice that there's no building over here next to it. So I always thought that was a cool photo. And if you look at it, and we were just talking about the windows, it is still 3 windows and then 3 windows way over here. So, and more importantly, on the second story of this building was the library. The Kewanee Public Library was there. It moved from Library Hall, which was City Hall on the corner of Tremont and 3rd, and it moved here to the second floor of the Oddfellows building right before the Carnegie Library.
Yep, that is correct.
Was built. So yeah, so that's interesting. I thought that the Oddfellows built the building, but it was always made to house the Oddfellows and other things, other spaces, retail in the basement. And
so I'm thinking this had to have been, if that's the library board sitting there.
No, this isn't library board.
You don't think so?
No, they have little vestments.
Okay.
But we do have a photo of the library board sitting arodd a...
Oh, that's right, around that table.
Yeah. But this is an old photograph we found of the Oddfellows group. I don't know why they are not allowed to sit in the middle of the room.
They're all like lined up against the wall.
They're all lined against the wall.
It's like in a dance and you don't want to ask somebody to dance.
They're wallflowers. But there's like a grand poobah kind of guy with a big chair.
Oh, wow.
And he has a stand in front of him. I'm sure that means something.
I see the stove there in the room to keep everybody warm. Wow.
And this would have been on the 3rd floor because the meeting rooms for the Oddfellows were on the 3rd floor.
I have to say, in this building, my favorite room is the 3rd floor front.
Yes, which is what we believe this room is.
Which is like really the corner of Tremont and 2nd. It's just with all the windows and the lighting.
It's so bright.
I just
beautiful.
Love it. I really love it.
Yeah. So we toured the building, and it was, oh my goodness.
It was fun.
It was great fun, but it was so cerebral that we had to figure out, where we were going.
I feel like we need to go back in because I feel like we still don't know. Like I said, you've drawn up some sketches, but it's still like placing things.
Where is that door?
And when we get into some of this later in our episode, it'll make sense why it's so chopped up. Or,
Right.
Yeah.
So the what is very odd about the building is it is kind of 3 buildings, but kind of not 3 buildings. So for our purposes, we're going to talk about 3 different buildings. The Oddfellows building, which is the corner building, and the addition on the back. So it's like an L shaped. And then next to it is the Vallejo's building. And it is sort of attached. I don't even know how to explain it. It's attached. The Oddfellows building was built around the Vallejo's building. And even in the back of the Vallejo's building, there's windows that open that look at a brick wall. A brick wall like 3 feet from the window.
Well, and Ruben had explained, like, had he not roofed it over there just to protect everything, like, we could have totally seen, like, you know, but there's nothing there. It's just like a little mini alley or something. It's weird.
But it's not, it's like, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 feet wide. It's very small, but it's weird that, you know, the window's open and there's nothing there. And then the other building is the Kewanee building, which is only 2 floors versus the Oddfellows and the Vallejo's building are both 3 floors. And we'll get into it when we discuss our
that'll come up later.
Our tour, because you know, we played Get Smart a little anyway. So there's 3 different buildings, and the Kewanee building currently holds a tattoo parlor on the first floor, and so that's the one we're talking about.
Second floor is nothing right now.
There's nothing there, and the Vallejo's building is Ruben says it's his phase 2. He's working on the Oddfellows right now.
I think he really likes this building, and he put a lot of money into it, just to make some repairs and stuff. And the other building he purchased, I think he might let that one go. He really wants to focus on this one, is what he told me, and just make it really nice. So, yeah.
Yes, he also owns the Baker building, which is on
where Senior Citizens was, across from Parkside Apartments.
On the south side.
But I think that one's in more disrepair, and maybe just understanding how much works. He's a very good contractor. Him and his family are very good contractors. But I just feel like, just knowing the extent of the damage and whatever needs to be done, I don't think they're wanting to take that on right now.
Right.
So
and
we'll
here's
see.
a plug for
See.
him, but he has 3 business storefronts available right now.
That are for rent.
Yeah, on the first floor.
The own June Melody at 206, I believe. Also 204 West 2nd, and then 203 North Tremont.
Yes,
That's also for rent. So, and they're very nicely done.
Yeah.
They all have their own bathroom. So,
Which is
a plus. So,
anyway,
we have a lot of pictures. I already showed you the one about the door, you know, on the floor when you come in the front door.
And so we thought we would just go through the pictures, and John would put them on screen as we talked about them. When you walk in through that door is off 2nd Street, and it is to the rear of the Oddfellows building. So it is like in the addition. And so the staircase is in the addition. Beautiful woodwork. Beautiful old woodwork. And they were original.
It gets you to the 2nd level, and then there's you come up, there's a little offshoot to go down that hallway. When I was in high school in 1986, I worked for a guy named Ken Elliott. He had an insurance office, Northwestern Mutual Insurance Office. Really, really nice guy. I went there. I'd leave school early in the afternoon and go up there and type for him or do a little filing. A lot of times we just
shot the shit.
Chewed the fat, you know. Just a really, really sweet guy. He did retire after 51 years of service with the company. He retired in 1986 in December, I believe.
Oh.
So really nice guy. And I do remember when we walked through, it was one of 2 offices. You know, it's been so long ago. But even just the glass frosted windows all down the hallway that gave each office occupant privacy, and just remembering it was just really neat to see.
It was pressed glass,
Thank
like
you.
old-fashioned pressed glass.
Yeah, really cool.
I have to think that it's what the boiler looked like in the heyday, you know, with the beautiful wood cubicles, but these were rooms.
I mean, even though the building's not in good shape, I mean, just to see the fixtures, the doorknobs, where you put the letters in.
Yeah,
some of the little peek holes.
Yeah, right.
Just really, really cool.
So as we walked up the stairs, you could there. It's like circular. You go up the stairs and around and go up the stairs to the third floor. So at the top of the third floor of the stairs, in front of you is what was the Oddfellows like ballroom, or it's not a meeting room. Or was it a meeting room?
I think it was probably a ballroom.
Okay, it's huge. And there's even
well, maybe it was a meeting room because the second floor was where they hung out and played pool.
yes.
So maybe it was
okay. Well, it's a big room.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big room.
And I guess they may have shown movies up there because there was obviously there was a hole in the back wall where a projector, it was just a little square where a projector would go.
Can't see this right now, but there's this thing.
This is in the hallway outside the room. The room's
so
over
it
here.
would like hold the projector.
Right.
So
and maybe a guy.
Yeah, maybe he. Yeah.
Oh, and there's.
Can you imagine sitting up there?
Yeah.
This is my favorite room that I was telling you guys about. Leanne and I were able to get a picture.
Yes.
It's just so nice and bright.
It's just a beautiful room.
Beautiful, very spacious.
And talking to some Oddfellow friends, that was just a small meeting room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But we think that is this room.
And there's a nice piano in this room. You guys said it was a player piano?
Yeah.
I don't play, but yeah. So.
Yeah. But, and if you look at this picture, I don't know if it, where's that picture? Oh, you can't see. But this long wall here with no windows and no doors, that is actually the wall to the Vlahos building, what we're calling the Vlahos building. So it's I just find that odd that from the front it looks like it's one building.
Yeah, this is panned out, so that would be kind of what you were talking about.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, pretty neat. So. Yeah. Anyway,
so we toured this building, and it has a beautifully lit upper floor. Then we go downstairs, and sort of like right under the ballroom is another big room, and it is like their playrooms.
Oh,
they had pool tables, and there was a bar.
They had 2, but you could
there.
tell there had been 3. There was a bar. It was it was pretty cool.
Hangout rooms for the Oddfellows, and then down the hallway were offices. Where we'll probably talk about that in a part 2 of this broadcast.
Yeah.
So
basement, I was not a fan. They did have
freaky
one kind of tall thingy mabob. You put coal in it, and it was self-loading into
it auto-fed the boiler, but the boiler isn't
I call
there.
it a thingamajiggy because it was like 4 foot tall or so, and
it was taller than that. It was taller than us.
Yeah.
Which it is more than 4 foot.
The coolest thing I think in the buildings is the 2 vaults and the 2 safes. The vaults we were able to see, and we could put those pictures up. And the safes, he has not been able to open them, and we have offered our assistance. He has not yet taken us up on that.
I got a drill. We can do this.
I keep thinking of Geraldo Rivera, and I don't know how many times we're going to say that name. It's just,
Finding Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah.
Or my favorite part is, there is this door on the Tremont side, and it goes into the Vlahos building.
Oh, with the sliding.
Yes. So you go up these kind of sketchy stairs because this is his phase 2. It is not. It's kind of scary, but fun. Beautiful woodwork still.
You want a really good flashlight.
Yeah, or 3. And so on the second floor of that building, it's just different offices and stuff where things have been. He would not allow us to go up to the 3rd floor because he says it's even a little more dangerous than the 2nd floor. And he said that is all one open room. So maybe one day we'll get in there. But the most exciting part is going up these stairs. Halfway, and he showed us that there's this big metal door, like at a landing halfway up these stairs.
Like 2 layers of metal, and then you get to the door.
Yeah, you have to, it's like Get Smart. You open a door, and then you hold that open, and you open another door, and they're metal. And then there's a beautiful wooden door that you open, and that went into a dentist's office. And that is over the Kewanee building. That's the only way to get to the second floor of the Kewanee building.
Which we'll show you in part 2 what we found in that office.
Yes, interesting.
Pretty kind of interesting, kind of gross, but kind of cool. But yeah,
So yeah, well, we're almost out of time for this podcast.
I can't believe it.
I know, right? For our next podcast, we'll still be talking about the Oddfellows building and the other buildings.
We're going to get into a lot more of like who the occupants were, what was in that building, and some of the changes that occurred with the building, moving of floors perhaps.
Yes, and why there 2 buildings became one and didn't become one. But for this time, we do have some thank yous to give out. Ruben Gutierrez, our neighbor, thank you so much for allowing us to come in numerous times. Dean Crew, got some information from him. Cool. Larry Locke, he wrote some good stuff that helped us. We did go over to the Henry County Records office. Thank you very much. And the best one, Dennis. At the courthouse. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dennis. You made our day.
Hilarious guy.
Yes. He is the security guard that we ran into. If you have to go
in there and see a guy with white hair, Dennis, he's just a hoot.
Don't ask him how the door works.
Yeah, it's a secret.
Yeah. But we'll look forward to seeing you next episode when we discuss more about the Oddfellows building.
Thanks, guys.
See you at the museum.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for cruising with us today. We hope you enjoyed the show and you'll join us for our next cruise down Kewanee Memory Lane.